The Mayan Civilization by Annie Bone, Joan Davis, Raquel Lara, Phil Sung, Omir Azir, and Catherine Tontho. This is a picture of an ancient Mayan site, and it's one of the largest sites left behind for us to examine. It is important to understand who came before the Mayans for us to understand the Mayan civilization. It is believed that the Olmecs were the predecessors to the Mayan civilization. This is believed for many reasons. Some reasons are the chronological order of both civilizations, the geographic locations of both civilizations, the resemblance of culture, the hypotheses that explain the decline of the Olmec civilization, and the widespread Olmec artifacts found throughout the Mesoamerica region. The Olmecs flourished during the formative period, roughly about 1500 BCE to 400 BCE. The Mayans, it is speculated, flourished and reached its peak from 250 AD to 900 AD. This shows that the Mayans came after the Olmecs. These two maps represent the areas of where the Mayans and the Olmecs lived and flourished. As you can see on both maps, both civilizations lived and flourished in the same area in Central America. The resemblance of culture. Because the Olmec civilization chronologically precedes the Mayans and both civilizations inhabited the overlapping region, it is commonly agreed upon by a majority of historians and archaeologists that Olmecs were the epicenter of Mesoamerican culture and influenced the latter ones, such as the Mayans. Some of the resemblances of cultures that both the Mayans and the Olmecs shared were hieroglyphics, building of pyramids, a rubber ball game, calendar, ritual human sacrifices, and the use of the number 0. Both the Mayans and the Olmecs used a form of hieroglyphics for their writing. As you can see by this slide, both of these hieroglyphics have very similar shapes and markings. Also found by both civilizations are uses of masks. And as you can see, both of the masks depict clear faces with shaped mouths and kind of a squished up nose and very slitted eyes. And these masks are commonly found for both civilizations. This picture right here describes the rubber ball game that both civilizations played. As you can see, it's very similar. I believe that the goal is to get the ball through the circle thing that you can see in the Mayan ball game picture, but also it is depicted in the Olmec game picture. On the left is a picture of a drawing of what an Olmec pyramid might have looked like. From what we know, the Olmec pyramids are not fully standing anymore, but there are Mayan pyramids that are fully standing. Both civilizations used calendar systems. The Olmec system was more squared and laid out, as you can see on the left, and this is a drawing of what the Olmec calendar might have looked like, whereas the Mayans was a circular calendar, and both calendars went on cycles of the sun. The decline of the Olmec civilization. It is believed that either a drastic climate change that happened roughly during 400 to 350 BCE adversely changed the river-based environment. Also, during the same time period, there was frequent volcanic activities that shifted and changed the way people lived in that area and region. So the proof that the Olmecs came before the Mayans lies in the fact of their chronological order, the overlapping of geographical regions, The similar artifacts found by both civilizations and the fact that the Olmecs diffused into other civilizations after natural disaster. The mysterious Mayans, emerging in Mesoamerica after the Olmec society crumbled. It is an ancient civilization which flourished during the time period of 300 to 900 AD. It left behind an abundance of artifacts and pre-Hispanic language of Maya. Their hierarchical society, rich in artifacts and sciences, depicted a nation transformed by mathematics, which also played an important role in calculating the calendar and directing agricultural schemes. Noted also for its technology in architecture and agricultural design, remnants of Mayans' complex pyramids continue to endure today. The Maya defined all phenomena of nature and their causes, then represented them in the shape of human beings or animals. Their object was to keep for the initiates the secrets of their science. The Mayans were known for intricate pyramid building schemes. They also had complex cities built conducive to the climate and terrain of the region. They were engineering masters of their environment. They were lawfully religious, and temples graced the lands as well. The Mayan agriculture, they had farming on terraces to better conform the hillsides and therefore limited the need for artificial water supply. They had varying slopes to well drain the fertile soil, and they had sophisticated methods used to minimize soil erosion. Their complex calendar was based on mathematics. The Mayan calendar consisted of 360 days a year and 18 named months comprised of 20 days, as well as a 19th month, which included 5 nameless days. Also, there were 31 recorded languages in the Mayan culture, some of which archaeologists can fully decipher, while others archaeologists are working hard on to fully decipher. Here are some of the Mayan hieroglyphics, which have been found inside temples, as well as on stone scribes, and we are still trying to decipher some of them. The Mayan government was divided into city-states, each with their own king and priest. It had a social hierarchy. There were many more furnishings and ceremony buildings and burial sites of the people of higher status in their society. They built incredible buildings such as the Palenque, which was also known as the Temple of Inscriptions. This temple was made out of stone. There were many tablets found inside. It is filled with hieroglyphics, pictures, and sculptures. Palenque housed bodies of the kings, and it also once flourished as a trading post. So like many other ancient societies, these temples were used as trading as well as religious. This is a picture of the Palenque temple. This was a hub for trading as well as ceremony and ritual, and people came here, and it was like a central hub for the society. The Mayans' economy was highly based on trade, which also means that they were interacting with other civilizations. They traded food products, raw materials, and manufactured goods. They primarily traded jade, obsidian, salt, seashells, and cocoa. Many obsidian cores and blades could be found on Mayan sites, usually at specific manufacturing sites or in elite households. Obsidian was very important to the Mayan society, for it was used for weapons, tools, and for art. Here's a picture of an obsidian arrowhead that was found in Mayan civilization. Obsidian was used as, to dig. It was also used as arrows. It was used for people to make necklaces, and many of the people of the Mayan culture left behind many obsidian artifacts. The Mayans were based around house mounds. Each family lived within a house mound. When they farmed primarily corn and potato. They created a terrace system, so they could irrigate their crops more efficiently. Many Mayan societies were also focused around farming, as well as going to temple and doing religious practices and trading. Here's another picture of some Mayan hieroglyphics, so people can see, that they did write, which this is a picture of the Mayan artifacts, some of the vases used. That vases were used for the Mayans for cooking or for storage or for art. The Mayan religion, many grave goods were found at burial sites, such as pottery and seashells. It believed to be nature-related religion. It also had two major gods, the sun god and the maize god. They believed in an afterlife. They engaged in human sacrifices to the sun god. People sacrificed were usually captured people or children who had been raised for it. The sun was one of the most important things to the Mayans, as well as the corn crop. Here's another picture of the Mayan calendar, which, once again, it was based on mathematics, but also as well as the rotation of the sun. The 19th month, which mentioned before, makes up for the fact that the sun rotates, and kind of like how we have an extra day in February every 4 years. The Mayan enemies were overpopulation, food limitations, territory, acquisition of slaves and sacrificial victims, resolving rivalries, avenging insults, and many other contributing factors that was constant in the Mayan life. Mayans only identified with their own city-states and the priests and nobles of those city-states. Everyone else was considered the enemy. So this led to the Mayans constantly being in warfare. So if one Mayan society interacted with another Mayan society, there was often a fight. Wars became more prevalent in Mayan culture with overpopulation, climate change, expansion of territory, and control over farming land and trade routes also contributed to Mayans going into war. The Mayans fought against other Mayan city-states and kept themselves 55 kilometers between each city-state. They also fought against Mexican explorers and other civilizations that may not have been directly linked to the Mayan civilization, such as other native Central Americans and or people traveling through the land. So some of the weapons used for the Mayans were axes, knives, spears, arrows, as well as many other tools. They also had shields and other forms of defense. When Mayans captured other civilizations or other peoples, they were used as human sacrifices, as well as put into slavery. What led to the decline of the Mayans is still a mystery. There are many hypotheses that support the fall of the Mayans. Some include foreign invasion, peasant revolt, collapse of trade routes, epidemic diseases, droughts, systematic ecological collapses. Foreign invasion is a common theory supported by various archaeological findings. Mega droughts hit the Yucatan Peninsula and for several seasons. The thin tropical soils lacked fertility after long periods of usage. Regular seasonal droughts drying up surface water. Colonial Spanish came into the area, which brought many diseases with them. The Mayan agriculture was based on a slash and burn system, and the slash and burn system often depleted the soil. Well, it refurbished the soil, but it also depleted the terrain in the area and killed the society that they were used to. This is a picture of what it kind of looks after slash and burn, and it takes many seasons for the land to recover after such techniques. So in conclusion, the Mayan society flourished from 300 to 900 AD. It had a complex society with many temples, religious rituals, and was often involved in warfare. There are many hypotheses to the decline of the Mayans, which include natural disasters and attack of disease from other nations. This has been our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.